Shalom. So we are gonna deal with women who are considering polygyny, or just in general women starting over with relationships, but mainly about polygyny. There are some things that you need to know because I want to have a lot more to consider when starting over a relationship, polygyny or not, right? Especially if that woman she already has children. That's even more of a weightier matter, right? Sometimes these women will make decisions out of desperation, and that is not good. However, when you're considering to get into a polygyny relationship, it's important that you make sure you have good conversations with the current wife. Well, you don't really want to talk to the ex-wife sometimes because sometimes they might be bitter against the man. And even sometimes the current wife can be also manipulated by that man. But your woman, so you will pick up on certain things, but it's important that you speak to that woman, about many different things, right? How he treats her and all of those things, right? Is he a good husband, and how is he in the home and all of those things. But the most important person for you to speak with is the child, right? Because some men can be very good husbands but not good fathers, and you, in that situation, most likely you're going to want to bring him a son. That's the most important thing. But you have to also consider about what will be there for your son. How will he be treated, especially if the man already has a bigger son, right? So that is something to consider about. So it's important that you speak to his sons or his children and understand from their standpoint, different from what he says about him being a father, right? And different from what he says about him being a husband. You have to hear it also from the woman, right? So these are key points that a woman should consider when they're moving into a relationship or considering to move into a relationship with a person, especially if it's not someone you're physically around and you're just admiring the relationship from a distance, or something about the person from a distance, right? Sometimes what you see is different from what you actually get. So it's important to have these type of dialogues with these people who are closest to him, right? One of the things why a lot of us don't, or we try to say we're not bringing the kids too early into this, is because we think we're protecting that. If something goes wrong, at least the kids are not involved, they don't know about this and that. But also there's a downside to that, because when the parents are not involved, it remains more secrecy. And usually a lot of people not good at controlling or restraining themselves, so the desire or the urge for sex normally do what, dominate. It predominates everything. So you just jump right into the sex, but it's already too late, right? So dating is more of a community thing than just you and him or you and her. It's more of a community thing, because guess what, if the whole community, your parents, your children, were to know that, okay, this is the man or the woman I'm dating, guess what? It would shine a lot on your image. But when we do these things secretly, your parents don't know who you're dating, your children don't know, you can always do it with a different person every week, every day, every month. Who knows of your sin? Who knows of your lack of self control? Who knows of all these desires? No one knows, so you can keep doing it, right? But this is what happens when we don't involve the right people into it, because it's too much about our desires. And because of the same desires, we keep repeating the same mistakes. We keep putting ourselves in the same positions and situations to be embarrassed, to be disappointed. Most of the times, you feel used or whatever because the sex had happened. Because if the outcome were to be the same and the sex didn't happen, you wouldn't feel as if you were being used. You have to see that you yourself don't have the ability to restrain or control your own urges, and that's very problematic. And this is why we start relationships the way we started. We started with the sex first and hope to adjust things afterwards. It doesn't work like that. You should have thought about that before you lay with the person, right? And like I said, especially for the woman, you have a lot more to consider, especially if you're a woman with a child or children, right? So you want to be careful with the decision you're making and try to speak with as much people, and then you can make a decision from there to say, okay, you see the situation, you understand the situation, you understand the risk and so forth. You get the reassurance that you need, right? And then you can go ahead and decide what you want to do. Shalom.